Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia Pilot into the Universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking Xi's quotes in December. Today we're going to talk about 中华民族伟大复兴. As someone who was born in China, this mentality of 中华民族伟大复兴 or 复兴, this revival of China as a great nation, as a country who went through like 100, almost 200 years of in the wave of post-industrial revolution, post-colonialism, of this almost went through 2 world wars, almost semi-occupied by Japan, and definitely had its encounter with industrialized forces as an ancient culture. That culture shock, that cultural, lost its confidence as a culture, was felt like vibrated through this almost 200 years in China. So that was it could be a narration, part of the propaganda from CCP as well, to give you a sense of, okay, we had a glorious past and only dimmed in the recent centuries. We need to get back to where we are. We need to revive us as economy, as a force, as a nation, as a race. So here it's using race, 民族, as the key element. Like you can identify yourself. Now it's beyond 人民. Okay, 人民is governed people by CCP, current regime. Here, this line is appealing to our racial identity as Chinese, like all the way to thousands of years of generations coming to this part. Like you are the offspring of this, long line of bloodline coming this far. And especially like 中华民族, if we look at 5,000 years of history, I mean, that's also, according to CCP's narration in the textbook, that is a long, continuous cultural lineage lasted for 5,000 years. And, all that glorification of the past create the story of we need to revive, we need to get back to where we were, reestablish our position as, the central flower there. Okay, 中华 is Chinese way to express themselves, just like 中国, we're the central kingdom. It's a very China-centric view, as if we're the center of the universe. If not the universe, definitely the center of the earth, right? That's a very self-centered view. And here, instead of 中国, is current China's self-referral as Middle Kingdom or Central Kingdom, or Central Nation. 中华 is now appealing to the race, defined as this 华, mostly by Han, a Han race that refer themselves to 华夏, like summer flower. I mean, why would you refer yourself as a flower? Flower is beautiful, but it's very fragile. It has a very short lifespan. So that's the choice of previous generations, self-referral to China, Chinese culture as a culture or as a race, to be the flower. So China-centric view, self-referral as central flower. And 民族 simply talks about 民. Okay, 民is about family names. So multiple different family names. Chinese often say they have 100 different family names. So the given names can be a whole variety. It's a garden variety of given names. And then family names are the ones that you can tell somewhat of your ancestor lineage, there are only 100, like mostly frequently used family names in China. Can we imagine that? Like out of this 1.4 or 1.2, depends on which data you believe in, billion people, only 100 family names. That's amazing, right? But that's the story, like a ton of Wangs, right, in China. And that's the #1 family name globally as well. So Min is the lineage of your family name carrier, and then Zhu is your clan. So I guess Zhu is more geographic lineage. Like if you all live in this region, even if you have different family names, you're still the same clan. You're going to defend the same piece of land. So that's Min and Zhu. Then together, we don't really distinguish its family name or the geographic location distinction. Minzu then together simply means, in our sense, race or ethnicity. Because in English, race and ethnicity seems to be two different things, right? It's also politically classified. So I'm not going to go deep in that because I'm probably not very clear on that as well. But Chinese use 民族 to correspond to the English concept of race or ethnicity. Okay, 中华民族 central flower. Okay, self-referral, we as a race. 伟大复兴, so that's the goal. We want to have 伟大. I translate it as a grand big, which corresponding to great, the concept of great in English. So Chinese have big and then grand big. That means big, super big. So that's Chinese great. And then 复兴, 复 means recover. You bounce back, basically, right? And then 兴 means grow. You continue, prosper, revive. So this sense of regenerate, rejuvenate yourself. Here I'm focusing on this flower concept. So this is how Hua was written before. You see, it's super complicated, way more complicated than this simplified Chinese version. So here it gives you the visual sense of this trident shape upward pointing thing, our plant symbol. Double plant means a cluster of plants together. And then this shape, 4 of them signifies the petals of the flower. So we're talking about plant-based. I guess it's annual, like blooming and then they die. Next year they have to come again. Not like tree that can survive several winters. So this seems like annual. Well, I'm not a plant person, don't really know, but here is a signifier of the flower, the layers, multiple layers of the flower petals. And then this is the pollen pull through. So this is a reproductive organ of the plant for them to continue to the next generation or into the next year, right? They got to have this structure, got to have pollinized to continue their life, right? Their lineage. So I guess in that sense, Hua, besides its beauty, besides its fragility, it also means, what's the word? Fertility. Yeah, it means reproductive. It means, you want to continue your lineage through blooming, through this flower pollinizing process. And then this horizontal line, 2 horizontal lines with this almost like S-curve thing means speaking. Having your air coming from your pipe and going, because the air doesn't travel in straight lines, so Chinese intentionally put a curve in there and going through barrier, which is your sound making, your speech making chamber, your mouth, your tongue, your teeth, your lips, they are the blocks for you to make all kinds of sounds, right? And then eventually the sound travel out. So this icon at the bottom means breath of air spreading. So again, the air spreading, or, it's not just the air spreading. When we are uttering the air is not just breathing out. A lot of times it's speaking layered on top of it, especially here, if there adds this blockage, that means somebody is doing something to block the air, to make a speech. So this is a speech making process, not just breathing out. Speech making means you're passing down your knowledge, your information, your intention down. And this is a flower, the plant, passing down their genes to the next generation. So both of them, from human passing down to plant passing down, is this reproductive process of having your DNA or your idea going forward. Okay, so that's Hua, that's the flower. And 伟大复兴, I translate it as Great Renaissance. So 复兴, in Chinese, we translate the Renaissance in Europe as 文化复兴, cultural Renaissance. We specifically add cultural in it. Probably in the most sense, it is an art and culturally Renaissance. So expressed by artwork like that. But Chinese, when we talk about 伟大复兴 in the CCP's context, it means to have, I guess, economic, political, military, cultural powers regained the position of Chinese as a race, as a nation, as a cultural identity group of people, to regain its position in the global mapping of people from everywhere speaking all kinds of languages, and regain its importance in the world. Because from this 中华, the central flower, China's centered viewpoint, painted by CCP, that we used to have a glorious Tang dynasty or the other generations of continuous agrarian society, pretty, I mean, even if it went through cycles, still this piece of land, the continuous lineage of that. And during that time, creations of kinds of cultures mostly, especially language, and somewhat technical improvement as well, right? Architectures. And so look back as that as our glorious past, and use that narrative to try to motivate people to try to be great again. So this is, gosh, this is China's Make China Great Again statement. There you go. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.